And then the league showed up. Commissioner Roger Goodell's words changed the tone. He signaled the NFL is watching how players are discussed off the field and hinted at serious consequences for coordinated attacks. That raised the stakes from annoying punditry to league accountability. Suddenly, the story wasn't only about who should start, it was about who controls the narrative and how far the NFL will go to protect its players. In the middle of it all sits Shedeur, calm on the sideline, game face on, doing his job while everyone argues about him. He's not shouting to be heard, he's preparing. But the noise around him is the kind that changes careers. Coaches have to choose between the safety of process and the urgency of results. Front offices have to weigh pride against progress. Fans are done waiting. This is not a simple switch at quarterback. It's a test. Will Cleveland follow the obvious pulse of the city? Raw belief and energy, or will it cling to process until opportunities vanish? The answer will define more than a season. It could define a franchise. Stick around, because what happens next won't be subtle, and when it hits, it will hit everyone watching. It only took one segment, one fiery opinion, for Rex Ryan to blow the lid off the Browns' quarterback situation. During a live broadcast, Ryan didn't hold back. He claimed Shedeur Sanders hadn't earned the right to start, that the hype around him was more flash than football. He even hinted that Cleveland should stick with its veterans, subtly mocking the idea of putting the rookie in charge. But what Ryan thought would be a casual critique turned into a five-alarm fire. Fans weren't having it. Within minutes, clips of Shedeur's preseason highlights flooded every corner of social media. Hashtags exploded. People were calling out Ryan for punching down on a young player who hadn't even been given a real chance. In a league that worships potential, his comments felt out of touch, and the internet made sure he knew it. Former players piled on too. Analysts labeled his take lazy. Some even said Ryan's comments represented everything wrong with how the NFL treats new talent, especially confident young quarterbacks who don't fit the wait your turn mold. By the end of the day, Ryan wasn't leading a debate. He was at the center of a digital firestorm. But the craziest part? That single rant didn't just ignite outrage, it opened the door for a bigger conversation. Because once Ryan spoke, other big names decided it was time to speak too. And what came next would change everything for Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. When Rex Ryan threw shade, Robert Griffin III didn't just clap back. He detonated a truth bomb that shook the NFL conversation. On his podcast, RG3 didn't mince words. He said, Shedeur Sanders doesn't just want to start for Cleveland, he needs to. The Browns, he said, are starving for life, and Shedeur is the heartbeat they're ignoring. It was vintage RG3, confident, bold, and impossible to ignore. He compared Shedeur's leadership to an energy source the Browns desperately need, saying keeping him benched was like having Wi-Fi but refusing to connect. Fans went wild. Within hours, his quote trended across sports media. Some called it hype, others called it prophecy. Either way, RG3 had spoken the truth fans were already feeling. Cleveland doesn't have a quarterback problem. It has a belief problem. He even broke down the Browns' brutal schedule: Ravens, Lions, Packers, Dolphins, and warned that without Shedeur, the team could spiral fast. You can't play scared, he said. You can't win that way. It was the kind of take that hit home because it wasn't just analysis. It was a challenge, but not in the win column. And finally, sitting quietly in the corner, there's Shedeur Sanders, the one player the entire fan base is begging to see. But here's where it gets messy. Every choice Stefanski makes comes with a price. If he sticks with Flacco, the locker room tunes out. If he pushes Gabriel forward, the media riots. And if he gives Shedeur the reins too soon, critics will scream reckless. It's a no-win situation, unless Shedeur wins. That's why RG3's comments hit so hard, Because they exposed what everyone already knows. The Browns don't have a quarterback controversy. They have a courage problem. The safe move keeps them mediocre. The bold move could change everything. And as the losses pile up and the pressure builds, one thing's becoming painfully clear. The longer they wait, the harder it'll be to explain why the most electric player on the roster is still holding a clipboard. Behind closed doors, the tension inside Cleveland's locker room is almost impossible to hide. You can feel it in every sideline huddle, every awkward glance between teammates. There's a quiet divide forming. One half of the team believes Shedeur Sanders is the future, while the other half is trapped in the politics of the present. Some veterans reportedly aren't sold on Shedeur yet. They say he's too confident, too outspoken, too young to take control of the huddle. But let's be honest, that's not really about Shedeur. That's about fear. Fear of change. Fear of shaking the comfort zone. Because belief in the NFL is contagious. And once a locker room starts believing in the new guy, the old guard loses control. Then there's the coaching staff. They're playing it safe, hiding behind excuses like development time and earning reps. But in reality, they're walking a political tightrope. Promoting Shedeur too soon could make them look impulsive. Waiting too long could make them look blind. It's the kind of indecision that slowly eats a team alive. And while the coaches debate and the veterans whisper, the younger players are watching. They've seen the spark Shedeur brings during practice, the energy, the leadership, the way he makes everyone play faster, sharper, hungrier. They know what's coming, because belief doesn't need a press conference. It spreads in silence, one rep at a time. And right now, that belief is growing louder than any media headline. The team just hasn't realized it yet. But the fans? Oh, they have. And their patience is running out. Robert Griffin III didn't just speak, he warned Cleveland. His message was crystal clear. Keep playing scared and you'll waste another season. RG3 knows what happens when teams cling to comfort instead of embracing change. He's seen franchises rot from the inside because they were too proud to admit they got it wrong. And right now, the Browns are standing dangerously close to that same cliff. In his podcast rant, RG3 broke it down in the most brutal way possible. If you've got the fire, he said, you don't keep it on the bench while the lights go out. He wasn't talking X's and O's. He was talking energy, leadership, belief. He said Shedeur Sanders doesn't just give the Browns a better chance to win, he gives them an identity, something Cleveland hasn't had since the Baker Mayfield days. And even then, it was fleeting. And that's the part hitting fans hardest, because deep down, they know he's right. Every drive with Joe Flacco feels like deja vu. Every possession with Dylan Gabriel feels like stalling. The team isn't losing because they lack skill. They're losing because they lack pulse. RG3's warning wasn't just commentary, it was prophecy. If the Browns keep waiting, they'll watch this season slip away like every other one before it. But if they take the risk, if they finally hand Shedeur the ball, it could flip the entire narrative overnight. Because in the NFL, sometimes all it takes is one brave decision to change a franchise forever. When Shedeur Sanders finally takes the field, and he will, it won't feel like just another substitution. It'll feel like a cultural reset for Cleveland. The kind of moment that makes fans drop their snacks. The crowd erupt, and the cameras zoom in because everyone knows something real is about to happen. Shedeur isn't the kind of quarterback who tiptoes into opportunity. He storms into it. Every snap, every throw, every read will be loaded with purpose, like a man playing not just to prove himself, but to rewrite history. And if preseason flashes are any indication, he's not here to blend in. He's here to take over. Analysts have already seen the signs: pocket presence, precision, and that rare, unshakable moment. Calm that separates the good from the great. But what truly sets Shedeur apart is his swagger. He doesn't throw the ball, he commands it. His confidence spreads like wildfire, lifting the offense, energizing the defense, and reminding every Browns fan why they fell in love with football in the first place. The moment he steps under center, the energy shifts. Suddenly, the stadium feels alive. The huddle looks sharper. Even the sidelines move differently, because for the first time in years, Cleveland believes again. And when that first touchdown happens, when Shedeur drops back, threads the perfect pass, and the crowd roars like the curse just shattered, that's when it'll hit everyone. This isn't hype anymore. It's happening. The Shedeur Sanders era won't just begin in Cleveland, it'll ignite, and the city won't ever look back. When Shedeur Sanders finally takes command of the Browns' offense, the ripple effect will hit. Ending point, harder than any blitz. The moment he starts connecting passes and firing up the crowd, the narrative will flip overnight. Suddenly, the same analysts who once doubted him will be rewriting history, claiming they always saw his potential. It's the classic media pivot. One touchdown and everyone's a believer. Fans, though, won't forget. They've been begging for this change, chanting his name long before the front office had the courage to listen. Once Shedeur delivers, those fans will erupt in a way Cleveland hasn't seen in decades. Jerseys will sell out, memes will flood social media. The same city that's lived through endless heartbreaks will finally have something to celebrate, a real spark of hope. Inside the locker room, the transformation will be just as powerful. Players who look defeated will start playing like they believe again. The defense, tired of carrying dead weight, will finally see an offense worth fighting for. That belief, that spark, will shift everything. And as for the Browns' leadership, they'll scramble to spin it. They'll call it part of the plan or strategic timing. But everyone will know the truth. They didn't plan this. They got saved by it. Because in one move, Shedeur Sanders won't just change Cleveland's offense. He'll rewrite the franchise's identity. The Browns won't be the butt of NFL jokes anymore. They'll be the story everyone's watching. And when that redemption arc begins, one thing will be clear. Cleveland didn't find Shedeur Sanders. He rescued them. If Shedeur Sanders delivers on even half of the hype, Cleveland won't just be turning a new page. They'll be writing a brand new book. For decades, the Browns have been the NFL's ultimate cautionary tale. A team with heart, but no direction. Passion, but no leadership. Every few years, a new quarterback would walk in with promises of glory, only to vanish under the weight of the franchise's history. But Shedeur, he's different. He's not here to survive Cleveland's curse. He's here to erase it. What sets him apart isn't just arm strength or accuracy, it's vision. He understands the modern game. Fast, fearless, and fueled by swagger. He's grown up in the spotlight, coached by one of football's sharpest minds, and forged through relentless criticism. He knows pressure. He thrives on it. And that's exactly what this city needs. Someone who doesn't flinch when the lights are brightest. If he takes the Browns to even a playoff run, the impact will be seismic. We're talking documentaries, endorsement deals, national headlines. Cleveland would no longer be that team that always falls short. They'd be the comeback story of the decade. But beyond stats or wins, Shedeur's true legacy will be about belief, proving that confidence isn't arrogance, that hunger isn't selfishness, and that greatness can come from betting on yourself when no one else will. And when that moment comes, when Cleveland finally stands tall under those blinding stadium lights, led by the kid who refused to wait his turn, the entire league will have to admit it. The Sanders era didn't just save the Browns, it changed football in Cleveland forever. So here we are, standing at the edge of something Cleveland fans have been praying for their entire lives. The city that's endured heartbreak after heartbreak, rebuild after rebuild, might finally have found the one player who can pull them out of the dark. Shedeur Sanders isn't just another draft pick or quarterback experiment. He's a symbol of confidence, of grit, of everything this franchise has been missing for decades. When he finally steps onto that field as QB1, it won't just be another game. It'll be a statement. Every throw, every drive, every touchdown will echo the message the entire league's been trying to ignore. The Browns are done being a punchline. With Shedeur under center, they're becoming a problem. You can already feel it. The energy's shifting. The fans are louder, the players hungrier, the narrative sharper. And once Shedeur delivers that first win, that first jaw-dropping performance, the floodgates will open. Suddenly, everyone who doubted him will scramble to rewrite their takes. But the real fans, the ones who believed before the headlines, will know exactly what they're witnessing. A star being born in real time. Cleveland's future doesn't start next season. It starts now. And if the front office finally lets go of its pride and unleashes this young phenom, they might just spark one of the greatest redemption stories in NFL history. So, what do you think? Is Shedeur Sanders truly the savior Cleveland's been waiting for? Or just another chapter in their long, painful saga? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're riding with Shedeur, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video so the world knows the Sanders era has begun. ...